Hi class, I am your professor for this class. I'm Dr. Phillips, and this is going to be one of two intro videos that you watch. This one is just going to be about the syllabus and Blackboard. And then the other one is going to be about Edpuzzle and Perusal. So the two websites, apps that we use in addition to Blackboard. So let's get into the syllabus first. For the syllabus, you have this information here. You also have this document here, which has a little bit more information than what you see. And I will be showing you that. So if you click on this and open it, it's going to look like this. And so this is our syllabus. If there's any changes, I'll update them here on the syllabus. My name is here. You just have to use Phillips. You don't have to try to spell or pronounce the Dezelia. I dropped that part of my last name and stick with easier one. I don't have any official office hours this summer, but I am here in my home office most days. You can send me a message on Teams. That's a great way to reach me, or an email. My email is here, and we can set up a quick Teams call, or we can just figure it out through Teams chat. But reach out if you have any questions. I'm not on campus. I live in Mexico City, in Mexico right now. So I'm not coming to campus for a meeting, but I am available online. I'm in the central time zone, so in some ways that helps you, because if you write at like 7 p.m., especially since I work at home, you're still going to be able to reach me probably. I can't promise I will immediately respond on the weekends because it's a weekend, but I am available. Reach out. I'm not going to go over all this random stuff. Feel free to read through it. One thing about your book, it's free. It's an open source. You don't have to buy anything. You are welcome to buy a copy at the bookstore, but it is free online. You don't have to pay a cent for this class. You go to this website to get a copy of it. You can get a PDF, or you can read it online. It means there's not a whole lot of bells and whistles. It's not very fancy because it's a free book, but I thought you'd prefer it being free to all the fancy stuff. If you're someone who gets assistance through SAS, please let me know sooner rather than later so I can add whatever your accommodation is. If it's something like extra test or extra time on a test, please reach out as soon as you can. Read through that discrimination policy, harassment, resources, all that fun stuff, additional support. We are focusing in this video on what you're being graded on. One thing, if you want to dispute a grade, hey, I think there's something wrong, you can't wait till the end of the semester after I submitted final grades to complain about the first test. Get on it, respond quickly. I grade stuff quickly, so it's not like you have to wait weeks to see what your score is on something. If you're confused, please reach out. What you are being graded on this semester. There are 4 things that go into your grade, and we'll break each of these down individually. Edpuzzles, and Perusals, which are the 2 things I'll talk about in the other video, your tests, and then a final exam. You get 2 test extensions, but besides that, you can't turn in late work. For example, the Perusals are our discussion with each other. So you can't turn that on late because then there's no one to discuss with. Your Edpuzzle participation, that is the lectures for the class. You can't watch those after the test is due because, like, you should have already done it. And the final exam, definitely no late work. So try to get stuff in on time. For this class, it's basically a 6-week class. So there are 5 modules and then the final exam week. So a week is a module. I just kind of put everything in one folder for you so you know this week this is what I'm doing. Each module, because this is only a 6-week semester, because it's such a short semester, each week you have to do more than one chapter. It's anywhere between 2 to 3 chapters a week that you are going to be learning about. And your work, except for the final exam, is always going to be due on a Sunday night. So you just know, I highly recommend working throughout the week on the material. Don't save it all for Sunday, because it's a lot of stuff. Or Saturday. Your perusals are due on Saturday. Don't wait till the weekend to do your work. I would be, breaking it up into the chapters and doing it throughout the week. Don't wait till the end. But it's due perusal Saturday, test and puzzle Sunday. And so let's break these parts down. Your tests. I've broken the test down per chapter. So instead of having just one module test that has, 60 questions from 3 chapters, which can be a lot, I break it down for you into a test per chapter, 20 questions per test. So if you want to do, 1 test on Tuesday, 1 test on Thursday, 1 test on Sunday, you can do that. You don't have to study everything for that whole module before you take the test. You can break it down for each related one. They are 70% of your overall grade. So this is the biggest part. So when you're calculating your grade, there's a column in the grade book that says weighted total. That is your grade. Taking into account that it's weighted, that your tests are the biggest thing. You can't just take the points you've earned, divide it by possible points, and get your score. You actually need to do these calculations, so just look at that weighted total column. So there are 13 tests. Your lowest 2 tests get dropped. So twice you can bomb a test and it won't matter. In that weighted total column on Blackboard, as soon as there are tests in the system, it is automatically ignoring your lowest 2 grades. You can see the grade in the grade book still. In my grades, you will see what the score is, but it is not being calculated in that weighted total column. So at the end of the semester, it's not like the grade you see is what it is without the stuff being dropped. The grade you see is your real grade. It is dropping your lowest test grades all semester long. If you bomb a test at the end, it starts counting that previous thing it was dropping, and it drops that final test grade that you dropped, like the chapter 13 or chapter 15 test grade. It will always, every time a new score gets entered into Blackboard, it will say, what are the 2 lowest? I'm ignoring those for that weighted total column. Your tests are only multiple choice questions, 20 multiple choice questions in 30 minutes. If you have studied, and if you're not someone who's eligible for an accommodation, that is plenty of time for you to finish 20 multiple choice questions. They are open book, or they're open note. They are open note, but they are not open book. They are not open internet. Any notes you have created on your own, you are allowed to use. You didn't write the book. Don't use the book. Do not try to Google the answers. I have written all these questions myself, so they're not going to pop up online. Just do it yourself. If I find out you've been looking stuff up online, I turn you into the honor board. So don't do it. So those are the tests. Your tests, again, you have anywhere from 2 to 3 a week, 2 to 3 per module. So module 1 is chapter 1 and chapter 2. So you have 2 tests. They're due the same day. They're available all week though. So you can take them before the 29th, but they are due by the 29th. And then module 2 is 3 chapters. Module 3 is technically 3 chapters, but it's only 2 tests. For chapter 4, we only really cover the sleep part of the consciousness chapter. And chapter 7, we only cover intelligence. So because I only cover part of each of those chapters, I combine them into 1 test. 10 questions from chapter 4, 10 questions from chapter 7. So 3 chapters, but 2 tests. And then for modules 4 and 5, 3 chapters each, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15. You will notice these are not exactly in order. I like to put chapter 14 as the stress chapter. I like to put that a little sooner because it's really helpful for you. And then we don't cover chapter 14. It's the IO chapter, Industrial Organizational Psychology. So This is the order for them. Perusals, which again, the other video, I'll show you the perusal site, show you how to do that. This is our version of discussion boards. I like this a lot more than the Blackboard discussion boards, which is why we use this. You have one per module. For this, for module 1, and then for the last, and then 3 and 5, it's reading an article and commenting on it. For 2 and 4, it's watching a video and then commenting on the video. And they are worth 10 points each. It's an algorithm that Perusal uses that I put stuff into that grades it for you. So for the intro, the syllabus that you have to comment on, you need 5 comments at least. For all the others, you need at least 7 comments. But quality matters. So you can't just say interesting point 5 times on the syllabus and think you're going to get a 10 out of 10. You have to have high quality posts. It also matters like how long you spend on it. Do you work on it more than one time? Do people interact with you? Lots of different factors go into what your grade is. So it's more than just the quantity. Did you write a comment? Did you not? So you can, as you go through, you can see what your grade is. So if it's not a 10 out of 10, you can keep adding more comments. You can reach out to me if you want to talk about how to improve your perusal score if you're not doing so awesome. But each one's worth 10 points. You cannot turn them in late. And that is worth 10% of your overall grade. Your Edpuzzles. Edpuzzle is the program I use for lectures, for class lectures, and the video with the class lecture will pause every once in a while and ask you a question. You have to answer those questions. And then you get participation points. It does not matter if you get the question right or wrong. What matters is that you attempt the questions. Because sometimes I'll ask you a question about a research experiment before I give you the answer. So you're not penalized if you get it wrong. But you do have to attempt all the questions. So your Edpuzzle grade is based on attempts at the questions. So watch the lectures, answer the questions that pop up as you watch the lecture. That's your Edpuzzle. And again, that with Perusal, I will go more in depth in another video. And those are just worth 5%. It's basically, you do better on the tests if you watch the lectures. So I give you points for doing something that's going to help your grade anyways. And then the final exam. The final exam is not due on a weekend. It is due on Thursday, June 30th. By midnight, it will be available starting that Monday, so you will have 4 days to complete it. It's worth 15% of your overall grade. This is a different column than the chapter tests. So this cannot be one of your drop tests. This counts, 15%. It's 100 multiple choice questions. You have 3 hours to complete them. It is cumulative. It will be a little bit on everything. And that is what you're being graded on. So again, Edpuzzle 5%, tests with the lowest, ignore that. That should not say this. It's 6 perusals. I was gonna change that not 6, 5. What you see online will be accurate. 5 perusals, worth 10%, in the final exam, which is worth 15%. Again, look at that weighted total column to know what's going on. And to make it even more clear, again, Module 1, 2 chapters. The perusals always due Saturday. Edpuzzle and tests due Sunday. Module 2, the 3 chapters, 3 chapters, but 2 tests. 4 and 5, 3 each. All the due dates are listed right here. Please make sure you keep track of this. So that is the syllabus. And here again, all the due dates listed, all the perusals, tests, Edpuzzle, it's all here again. Next, final thing really we're gonna go through with this is read me first, course guide, and then module 1. You have, the module 2 will pop up the day module 1 is due. So you have the whole week to do it. this is just information about, pop up, the README first. It talks about the class generally. I'm going to skip that and switch to course guide here. So the course guide lists all the objectives, everything you have to do each week with the date of that module here, and then everything that you get a grade on for the week. So for example, this week, you have to do the Module 1 perusal, which is making comments on the syllabus on perusal. You need to read and watch the Ed puzzle for Chapter 1, answer the questions, do the test, and then read Chapter 2, watch the Ed puzzle, and do the test, and what you have to do for a grade, the Ed puzzle questions and tests from Chapter 1 and from Chapter 2 and the perusal. So every week, it has it listed in my color code per chapter. So there's 3 things for Chapter 5, 3 for Chapter 2, 3 for Chapter 14, and then the module that's separate to help you have this all broken up. So the course guide lists it for the entire semester here. And then again, the final week, no new material, just do the final exam. And then each week, again, you'll see this module pop up. So for this module, here is a description of it. Oh, I might break that up so it's a little easier to tell the chapters apart. And then again, what to do, what to read. The Ed puzzle, I'll click on that in the other video. Graded work. Again, I'll click on the perusal in the other video because that's where I'll discuss it. And then you have your 2 chapter tests. For the chapter tests, you have to do them in each test in one sitting. So if you click on the Chapter 1 test to start it, it's a 30-minute limit. It's forced completion. It has to be in one sitting. You can't, once you click begin, which is over there, you can't log out and then come back later to finish it. You have to do it that time. So each of those tests has, once you click again, you're gonna finish this Chapter 1 test. Again, 20 questions, 30 minutes. So that is how it goes for each module, all the graded work, the Ed puzzles. You do have to answer the Ed puzzles for graded work, but I just put them in their own folder. That's it for this video. In the next one, the final one you have to watch, we'll go more into perusals and Ed puzzles.